Oh, it's all here. I just took this directly from the mail carrier. It ain't even hit my doorstep. I already got the grommet out of the firewall so I can run the wire. I'll put this in the trunk while I prep the wire and stuff, then it's on. Listen, I was so worried that this subwoofer set wasn't going to fit in my trunk because the box was so big. I was just like, man, I got desperate. I just threw it in the back seat. I said, I'm gonna try and fit it through the back. I looked at the back seat open. I said, man, this ain't gonna work. I was sick. This is a miracle. Like, yo, I pulled it out the box. I looked again. I said, wait, this joint could fit. And yo, it's on and popping. This joint fit. Let's go. Huh? 1100 watt max. Got my 2000 watt max amp right on top. Ready to wire this thing up. Woo! I got some life in me now. Huh? I'm ready. I just had to see. I said, I'm not even going to start the rest of the wire and nothing till I make sure this could fit, or if it can't, I was going to have to send it back and find something somewhere else. But yo, I was sick for a minute. Y'all hear me now? I'm excited. Okay, let's go. I'll show you the end result. That's the wiring kit on the seat. About to run that to the battery. I already got this all mapped out through the firewall, so you know. I just did some masterful fishing through the firewall. I got this little, I'll show you real quick. It was a little garden type of, some kind of craft thing from Dollar Tree, because I said I need a wire hanger because I know I might have to loop this amp wire when I push it through the firewall in reverse. So this is the little hanger thing I got. I broke one of the welds to get a nice long piece, made a hook. So that's what I just fished through the firewall, pulled out this grommet right here that I saw another guy do. He recommended it, so I'm gonna get that grommet back in there and seal it up good. But instead of feeding it from the engine bay into the cabin, I fed it from the cabin out to the engine bay and fished it, because how is a human being going to get their hand through all of these tiny wires to feed anything down in anywhere? Like, let me give you a size scale for the size of this stuff. Like, my finger can barely fit through here. How am I gonna get a hand with the wire way down and back in there? There's no way. So yeah, that's what I did. So now I'm about to connect the fuse and hook it up to the battery. Then I'm inside the car. That joint went quick and easy. I like it. Yo, I wish I'd have showed y'all what I did with the panels off just so you could see. But that's the cable that I showed you coming from the engine bay in. I had these kick panels. I took them off. I pried this open with my fingers. That's all the kick panels. I got it running under here, straight back. Straight back again. That's looking good. And then it's a little space here, so the wire is actually not pinched, and I pried it up some to keep it loose. It's not being pulled or anything. And that's the last kick panel I put down. Then I just ran it straight through to the trunk, and some nice little gaps and cracks under the seat. It's coming out. Let me show you. Sorry about that. Yeah, coming out right there. Boom. We in there. We got power in the trunk, baby. That look pro. Listen, this is my very first time running amp wire from the engine bay all the way through. The most I ever did before was change out speakers, and in another car I changed out it was a 97, so I changed to an aftermarket radio, which was easy. I just had to get the wire harness right and figure out the wires. But this is clean, man, and this is my first time actually running it. So somebody needed jumper cables, so I pulled the subs back out of the trunk for a minute, got them sitting on the box. But I'm gonna do the amp now, wire it up and have it ready to go. I gotta put in the line out converter under here. I gotta pull this down so I can tap into the speaker wires, but then after that it's on. All right, so I almost forgot about the bass knob controller for the amp, so I could turn the bass down if I want to. So I started it back here, and I ran it the same way that I got the amp wire going. It's just tucked under the rug, but it's all meeting in the same place. So I ran it down there, ran it into the little pocket like the amp wire. It's right here on the side of the amp wire actually. You can see it in there tucked away. And then instead of following the amp wire under the kick panel, I ran it under the seat. And there's actually a nice little Velcro thing covering the seat bolt. So I got it tucked up in here cleanly. And I got it running here. I'm gonna have it flush on. I'm gonna have it tucked up under, nice and neat, until I'm ready to come up. Boom, I'm tucking that right now. So then I'm coming up. So that's tucked away. That's my remote wire. Remote controller for the amp. Got to control the bass. And then let me show you real fast. I got it coming up. That's where it's coming up from that I just showed you. And I had it tucked away neatly right in here so I could control it. So I'm gonna have this Velcro together, or a nice little cable tie, wire tie type of thing. But I'm gonna have it in there. The bass knob on the end. This thing right here plugs in like a phone jack. Boom. So I'll be able to turn the bass down and adjust it to how I want. But when you tuning your amp and setting the gain, you want to have this on max. So that way, once you set the gain on the amp, you'll never blow it, because you'll only be turning this down some if you want. When you turn it to max, it's already perfect. It's getting maximum loudness, max SPL for your system. So when you turn it down, and you forget about it, and you hear a song, you're like, oh, let me turn the bass on. You turn it up, you ain't at risk of blowing it because you set it to that max volume on your knob already. So yeah, that's what we doing. All right, so now I'm about to connect the line output converter. I'll show you in a second. This is what it looked like. So you got your left speakers, your right speakers, your power wire is the yellow, and the black is the ground. What we're going to do is connect, obviously the speaker is up here, so we'll tap into these two speaker wires. Boom, for the left. These other two going for the right. We'll run the power wire into the amp and the black wire into the amp's ground, and we all good. So I'm about to tap into the speakers now to hook up the line output converter, and that way we get the signal coming from the speakers. We feed it into the box, we hook up the RCA cables in here, and that runs to the amp, so the amp knows what to play. And the woofers hook up to the amp, and that's where your boom come from. So right now I'm just prepping the speaker wires. What I'm going to do is extend these probably so I could tap into it easier. What I'm gonna have to do is lay inside of the trunk and actually strip the sheath off of the wires, so I could just probably tap into it easier that way and make a good connection. So we'll see. Okay, so I had to leave earlier because the sun was going down. I had to drop my daughter off somewhere, but I did finish extending the speakers up in the rear deck, extending the wires. So now I'm going to run my line output converter, have it hooked up here. I'm gonna connect these to it, and I'm gonna mount my amp back there on the back of the seat. And after that, it's plug and play time, man. Ready to go. And the test was when I got in the car, I turned my radio on. My speakers is playing like normal with all the splicing and connection, so that went well. All right, I just finished mounting the amp on the back of the seat, so I could flip it up, boom, flip it down, and it got space to cool all around, which is awesome. It ain't gonna be mounted on a woofer with the vibrations, could work stuff loose and all that. It's gonna have nice breathing room behind the woofers and the seat, and I can open it up when I want to. So we getting there. I just grounded the amp. What I did was get some sandpaper and file the paint away so I get to the metal there. And I had a self-tapping screw, drilled a little pilot hole, popped that in there. So now the amp is grounded. Let me take you around to the terminal. I got 4-gauge ground, 4-gauge power. So I already connected the ground to the amp. and I got the power prepped and ready. All right, so I just finished the line out converter, prepping everything. The other ends of the wires got their counterparts on it. This is the remote power cable, just wiring out of that. I ran out of connectors, and where's that? This one right here. He's gonna get a butt connector on him. I got the other wire. He got that already, so I'm about to get this stuff plugged up now. There's nothing else to do. All right, y'all, so I got everything wired up. Got the remote lead in there, the negative of the line out converter and the positive. Everything's grounded. Since it's a single speaker input for the dual woofers, because they're wired in parallel, I got the positive going to one terminal and the negative going to the other channel. So that's what we got. Ready to rock. It's all done, wired up, pretty clean too. I'm gonna fix that up in the morning. It's late now. Gotta watch them Eagles stomp on the Dolphins. Oh yeah, in case you was wondering, the RCA cable connected to the line out converter, wherever it's at. Oh, here it go, over here. It's dark. My bass, I just, I hit a little pothole. But I just put this song on, and I heard them subwoofers just kick in. I ain't even got the gain up. I ain't tuned them yet. I just got something playing just to warm them up a little bit. Yeah. First, I had to swap out my sub because the one I received was damaged. There was glass on the inside of the sub that was shattered. So I had to swap that out for another sub. I was waiting on a replacement, so I was just using the broken one until mine came in. So this is mine now. And it's a lighted subwoofer. So the last thing I had to do was run the ground, which is on the left side. I ran this ground line and connected it in with the amp ground line that's connected to the body of the car inside of the wheel well. And this is the power line. And this also has a switch here. I can turn it off or leave it on. And this is tied into the remote terminal of the amp, which I'll show you in a second. And what that does is when the radio comes on, this light comes on, and when the radio goes off, the light goes off. So that was the last bit of wiring I had to do. So I just ran this under the carpet and down into the wheel well out the way. And this one, the remote line, it just runs around with the rest of the wires and into the amp. I know this is a little ghetto, but I put plastic bags on both sides just to snug it in place, even though it won't move. It's very, very heavy. But all right, so we have our remote line for the light that's going over, getting plugged in to the remote line of the amp. And that's also the remote line is tied in of the line out converter, the LOC, which is, get my hand out the way right here. This is that remote line, so they're both coming on when the radio comes on, and the amp also comes on when the radio comes on. So everything is by the key or by the power of the radio, which is good. So I'm gonna clean up these wires, but I just wanted to show you the complete install now. See, when I open my door, it lit up, because anytime my car gets power, then the sub is ready. So I'm gonna run you from the front to the back to show you the finished product real fast. I wish I would have took more footage of when it was all taken apart and everything, but you get the idea. Next time I do something, I'll do it step by step. I have an assistant, but that orange wire, that's the 4-gauge line going into the amp. That's the power line, fuse connected. That's running through the firewall into the cabin, as you already saw. Just giving you a quick tour. So then it comes in clean under here. I had to remove this. Where it's at, trying to reach. So it comes in clean. I had to remove all of this plastic under there. I tied it up. Had to remove these kick panels. Ran it down. Let me back my camera up. Ran it down. Ran it through. Had to remove. Turning with you. Had to remove the seat belt kick panel. The rest of the seat belt goes behind here. So I still got the power line to the amp. I still have it running down. All the way down here, still running. Had to pop this out. Pop this kick panel out. I left a gap. And as you already know, just showing you the finished install. You saw how I did it already. And so that black cord, that's your bass control knob. Which I ran up along the side. Some of you might not like the tape, but you know what? Gaffer's tape is going to hold great. So I just ran it up here out the way. And inside there, nice and clean. And here's the subs again. Got the amp. I love how they look, especially at night. So it's daytime right now, so the light is pretty strong, and they sound great. You open the door again. That's to give them some power, and that's the whole setup. And for me in my car, I found that if I had the sub facing the cabin, that I get a lot better bass out of it than if it was facing the trunk. So that's why I have it turned, and also for the lights, and because my seats go down, it's just a nice look. So I'm gonna lay this back down. This is my jumper cable bag. It doesn't really move in transit, so that's it, man. Next video, I'm gonna show you how I did the door speakers, because I had to replace my factory door speakers. So